podcast I listen to where the host always refers to it as like a program or something. I hate that shit.
Are we not a program?
I don't know, but then there's like stuff I know like in podcasts. I'm like, oh, I hate that. But then I do it like on our podcast.
Tropes, you mean?
Or just like referring to podcasts as a pod. I hated that. And now that's literally the name of our show.
A whole new pod. We're a new pod.
And
We're
like,
not
I don't know,
an old
just
pod.
like the internet talk of like, let's go. And like that kind of shit. I hate that. But then like, I know I do it because it's like, that's what podcasters do.
You want to be depressed when
really,
we pod?
I'm just saying, I hate myself.
Wow.
Welcome to the 100th episode of A Whole New Pod. Podcast
Streamers.
all about Disney Channel original movies.
We both have our party hats on. Confetti's falling from the ceiling.
Yeah.
Lucas, how'd you do that?
We did it. I'm Lucas Melby.
I'm Jacob Telejohn.
And last time we checked in with like a big milestone. It was the 50th episode.
Yeah.
We had a whole extra bonus episode for that.
Gave you an
This
extra
time,
40 minutes or so, yeah.
I can't remember how much it was. This time, we're kind of just going to roll that all into this episode. So this is probably going to be kind of a jam-packed episode. And, yeah, I don't know. We got kind of, like,
Coming
waxed
off of a...
philosophical last time about, like, what have you learned? And I'm just like,
Yeah.
whatever, man.
We've
still
done
doing
that.
this.
It's the same. It hasn't changed. Disney Channel movies haven't changed that much.
We were checking our audios earlier. There was, like, weird staticky stuff coming up.
You probably can't even hear us.
You know,
Maybe you can't hear
That
me.
might happen in this episode. It happened before. It'll happen again. 100 episodes. What do you expect from us? Nothing changes.
Well, and what better way to celebrate the 40th anniversary of the Disney Channel? It launched April 18th of 1983. So we're just a few days after the 40th anniversary of it. So,
Oh, shit.
100.
So we're back. We're back in Minnesota. We never left, but it felt like we maybe left for a little bit because it was like 90 for a week, and now it's back to like snowing, which you don't really expect at the end of April.
Snow yesterday.
We were
snow
on
still
time.
outside today.
We were on time with our last episode, despite going to Anime Detour, which was kind of a whirlwind weekend. It was myself, Jacob, and Dustin was there. Dunstan did check into the hotel.
As did Dunstan.
And our friend, I just said Dunstan.
Yes. Dunstan squared.
And then our friend Jake was also there. And I did 3 panels, which I think went good. Right, Jacob?
I thought they were really good.
I mean, obviously I'm biased, but Jacob was in the audience. Jacob was not probably happy with me that I failed to plug our podcast in any of them.
And none of them. You have,
I tried to. I
yes.
intended to in at least one. But then I went to take a picture of the crowd, and I tripped over the cord to the projector, and I unplugged
Lost
everything.
the slides.
So then I ended it without a microphone, being like, "Oh, and I have a podcast. We talk about Disney Channel original movies."
Without saying the name of the
I didn't say
podcast.
the name of the podcast, which then it's like, well, there's a billion podcasts like that, and so then, and I know from looking at some on iTunes at least, being like, how hard is it to find our podcast? And usually I can always find other people's podcasts and not ours. So
Yeah.
that's not great, but it was a lot of fun. And
Yeah, I had a lot of fun. It was a good time.
so we're back on the DCOM grind, though. It's been about 3 weeks since we last recorded. So
Having a little bit of, withdrawal. but
yeah,
we're
that's
here.
one way to put it.
Oh.
But yeah, we have a big movie for this one. It is, there's different numberings that people have, but I believe this is the official 100th Disney Channel original movie. And
That's what the Wikipedia page
if
says.
memory
so.
serves, our first remake. We'll eventually get some others, including a remake of a Disney Channel original movie.
Under wraps.
But this is Adventures in Babysitting, which is a remake of a 1987 movie. Jacob just looked it up. It was
Done by Chris Columbus. Pretty big movie. It was actually it was a theater movie. It had a theatrical
It's
release.
a real movie.
Of like $35 million or something. So it was.
But at least looking at the plot
some,
synopsis, I think really, besides just like the basic concept of like 2 girls having issues babysitting and adventures ensue, there's not like a whole lot of connection between the two.
I like the comparisons between the movie posters. They're kind of similar. Elizabeth Shue was in the first one, so that's kind of a bigger name. We do have
No, she literally isn't.
I mean, I know the name.
What is she in?
You can't
look. You can't look.
I know the name Elizabeth Shue. Like, do you not know the name at all?
I know her from something recent, though, but like in the so between 1987 and her being in The Boys, I don't think I really know her from too much.
Well, I know the name, but I don't know what exactly from.
Well, I mean, that's not a big name then. If you don't know if she's in anything, just knowing a name, like, I know the name Bobcat Goldthwait. I'm not going to say Bobcat Goldthwait was a big movie star.
Well, she replaced the girl from... She's in
All right.
Back to the Future. Back to the Future.
Okay, so she replaced a minor character. Who? How often does she even show up in those movies? She's in the present.
Well,
they're never in the present in those movies.
Well, another movie that I watched recently because of, I think it was related to the one pod with Griffin and David. Did they review Cocktail?
I mean, not recently.
Okay, but she's in that also.
Okay. Yes, everybody knows Cocktail, that big movie.
Yeah, she's Tom Cruise's like love interest. So
all right, well, we are quickly already ratcheting it up of Lucas's meter of being angry at Jacob.
I'm trying to make this a 2-hour pod.
Well, Jacob doesn't even know all what I have in store for this episode.
Yeah, I'm not prepared.
So we're just gonna get into it.
Let's go.
Adventures in Babysitting. I like this movie.
I liked it too. It's not a top 10.
Moving on.
It's not a top 10. It's not a top 10, but it was fun. It was I thought it was maybe going to be kind of annoying with the kids, and the kids aren't really
They're pretty annoying.
Bad. I don't know. They're not that bad. I mean,
two of them are very annoying.
They get into mischief and stuff like that, but it wasn't as bad as I was maybe thought it was going to be.
And our main babysitters, one is a mainstay babysitter, but the other one is more of a newbie. But we have Sabrina Carpenter, who plays Jenny, who I didn't know this, but she was in Girl Meets World. I thought it was Girl Meets World, not Girls Meets World. I mean, I thought there was only one girl in that one. So, of course, we had... I can't remember what her name was in Invisible Sister, but she was the Tori and Topanga daughter, I believe, in Invisible Sister. Sabrina Carpenter's like her friend. Gotcha. I know Sabrina Carpenter, though, from some of her more recent work in The Hate U Give and Emergency, where she seems to have been typecasted as obnoxious white girl who learns she's racist and needs to learn a lesson about being racist.
Damn.
So that's kind of interesting. But she's also in the Netflix Tall Girls series, Tall Girl 1 and 2.
Is she the tall girl?
No, I mean, looking at her, she is very short.
I mean, stilts.
But Tall Girl, that might need to be a series we look into post Disney Channel.
I've heard of it. I don't think I've seen it.
And I think she was more of one of the pop star Disney girls. I think like some of her songs were maybe in previous DCOMs that she wasn't in, but this is her first one. And then the other babysitter who will come into play is played by Sophia Carson, who is Lola, and we know her recently, and we'll know her a couple of times from the Descendants movies, where she plays the evil queen's daughter, Queenie. I don't know what her name is.
Queenie, I like that. Queenie.
So we first meet Jenny, and we get it up that she's kind of stuck up, a little nerdy, but also a bad driver.
Yeah.
She almost runs over her crush Zach.
Yes. And then she also, when she's going to school or she's going to go to like an interview, she like runs up onto a curb. So she's a bad driver, yes, established.
And she's, as I said, uptight and kind of very like serious, maybe even like a little...
Yeah.
Not to the extent of American Psycho, but she's like using like positive affirmations, being like, you are great. You're good with art. You can do this, because she's going to an internship interview where she is a finalist for this art internship with this famous photographer. Also in the running for that is Lola, played by Sophia Carson, we just talked about. And she's much more of the cool girl. She's walking in with a smoothie. Edgy. What's the name of the edgy guy in Breakfast Club?
Well, when you said Queenie, I thought of the Breakfast Club, because that's what John Bender's character calls Molly Ringwald's character.
She feels like kind of like John Bender a bit. And she's also in the finals, and she like mistakens Jenny for working there, even though she's like 16.
Yeah.
And they're just
the way she's dressed. Yeah,
like,
they're
you're
dressed
a finalist.
different.
You suck. Yeah. And it also seems to be like at a library. Maybe it's like a university internship. I don't know.
They start speaking Spanish to some guy to impress him.
I think maybe before the art director or whatever comes out, Jenny gets a call from the Coopers or the Andersons, one of the two families. She gets a call from the Andersons, but she can't babysit for them because she's babysitting for the Coopers that night. And Mrs. Anderson is a professor who we'll learn is going to like an awards gala.
Getting a big award, right? Or no, is that the other mother?
A very prestigious award.
Yes.
And she's like, my niece flaked out on me and I need a babysitter. Do you have anybody to recommend? And I don't know if it's set up that either Jenny's friends are all either not babysitters, they're studying, or she just doesn't have any friends.
I think she just doesn't have any friends.
It's not exactly clear. But she's like, nope, I don't know anybody. Sorry, I gotta go. I got this internship thing.
Yeah.
And then before the art director comes out, there's something that happens where Lola has a smoothie, it spills, and they somehow switch phones.
Yes, yeah. The smoothie goes everywhere. It's on like a white rug. It gets spilled all over them, freaking out.
But nobody cares. It seems to be like it's really going to be some dramatic thing, but like nobody actually cares.
But yes, their phones do get swapped here, which is a big thing later on to come.
And the art director is like, I know we like had you guys prepare like a final art piece and you were going to do an interview, but we're just going to, and he's got like a Spanish accent. I'm just not going to do that. Yeah. And then he says, okay, I want you to like go take new photos this weekend and then submit them on Monday. And it's like, what the hell, dude? At least that's how Jenny feels. But Lola's like, haha, I'm cool and artsy. Not a problem. And then we learn here that they've switched phones because Lola's getting a phone call, but the ringtone's like classical music, and she's like, that's not mine. She picks it up, and it's now Jenny's phone, and Zach is calling, being like, hey, Jenny, you want to go to the big concert in the city tonight? And Lola's like, nah, fuck you. I don't like you at all. Or,
basically, yeah.
I don't know if she's pretending to be Jenny, or she's just saying, like, nope, Jenny can't come to the phone right now, and she doesn't care about you, Zach.
This is the first time she runs into the police officer.
Yeah, and part of it seems to be that she's rushing through the phone call to flirt with the hot cop
who's trying to give her a parking ticket.
Well, and like I think takes her vehicle or something, but maybe he doesn't because she gets it later on. Classic Lucas, not fully paying attention to the movie. But then Lola gets another call on Jenny's phone from Mrs. Anderson again, being like, are you sure you don't have anybody to recommend? And now she needs money because of the parking ticket.
I will double your pay.
And she's like, oh, yes, my friend Lola can do it.
Yeah, Lola will do it.
All right, so now we've got the babysitter set up. We have a movie. So the two families are the Coopers, who have two girls, Emily, who's a bit of like gothy punk girl.
Yeah, kind of like Lola, I guess, or I don't know, kind of similar vibes.
Yeah, and her mom, in her introduction, stops her from shaving her head.
Yeah, because they have a younger daughter who's trying on lipstick.
Katie, who I wrote as earrings. Obnoxious.
Yeah, she
dresses like a princess the whole movie.
Yeah.
And these two are being babysat by Jenny.
Yes.
Meanwhile, the Andersons have Bobby, who is a baker and also very obnoxious.
And a candlestick maker.
Or kind of just like a cook in general.
Yeah.
Shades of Zendaya's middle step brother, who always seems to make weird food because he makes food, but he always got to put like a weird ingredient in.
Yeah, no, his I can't remember. Do you remember what he was making in the beginning here? It was like some green goo.
But yeah, with like liquefied gummy worms.
Yeah.
Then we have AJ. She's a skater girl. She said, see you later, girl.
She really likes roller derby stuff.
True, yeah. Yes. More specifically, roller derby.
Yes.
And then Trey is the cool...
We don't really see him. We see him sneaking out of upstairs window shortly.
Wearing a leather jacket.
Yeah.
And we'll learn more about him. And these three are being babysat by Lola.
Yes.
She comes in and introduces herself to everybody and, lies to the parents about like her qualifications. And the parents leave. And then she like sees they have a pool, I think. So then she like
has a bathing suit from where?
I think she steals it from their laundry room.
Must be the mom's bathing suit.
Because she's doing laundry, because I think the mom asked her to do laundry, but she doesn't know how to do laundry.
So there's
typical Jacob Television. And she's just pouring like a ton of detergent into the washing machine.
So it's like pouring out onto the floor, then she shuts it, and then it just all goes everywhere. Explodes.
And what happens later on is you see that if you put too much detergent into the washer, it just like overflows.
And you just get a whole room full of bubbles.
But she's either out by the pool swimming.
Yeah, she is outside.
Then like the whole movie, like people are wearing like coats and it seems cold. So I don't know. Maybe she was just sunbathing. Because she doesn't seem to get wet, but she has to rush inside because Bobby starts a fire in the kitchen.
Bobby Flay has started a fire in the kitchen because he's making some kind of like weird taco sauce.
I don't know.
soup
I don't
thing.
even think it seemed like the stove top would have had open flames. Like the fire is fake, and it just seems to like burst out of nowhere.
Well, so he throws whatever's on fire onto the dog mat, and then the dog mat's what starts on fire. They do have like a Bichon Frise, like a really puffy white dog that, you know, we do see later on, which might have something to do with the tacos or the sauce, the pasta paste.
Yeah. So yeah, they come in and she like
Where's the
uses
fire
a
extinguisher? And they're freaking out, and the younger daughter calls Jenny.
Well, no, Jenny calls Lola's.
Or yes.
She has Lola's phone.
Yes.
She realizes she doesn't have her phone, so she calls her own phone. And
Why
AJ
do you
picks up?
Why do you have my phone? What do you mean your phone? It's the babysitter's phone. The babysitter?
Who's the babysitter?
So then Jenny starts freaking out at the house that she's at. And she's like, kids, get all ready. We need to go over to the Andersons or whatever.
So, the Coopers are heading with her to the Andersons.
Yes.
And as they're pulling up, we see Trey sneaking out of the window.
Yes, correct.
And then they go in and she's just like, what the fuck are you doing, Lola? And she's like, I got it under control. And it doesn't seem like it.
They got the fire extinguisher. They put out the dog bed fire. But it's still like a mess. It's really smoky in there. It's just not good.
And she's like, okay, well, AJ and Bobby are here. Where's Trey? And Lola's like, who? So she doesn't even know there's a third kid.
Yes.
First rule of babysitting, never let the kids out of sight. So they go up to Trey's room.
She has like the same poster 12 times.
And Emily seems to have either been in the
crush.
same grade or at least has a crush on Trey. And they see on his iPad that he was looking to buy scalped tickets
from a pawn
that
shop
are advertised on a porn shop.
Whoa.
A pawn shop.
Only
Tiny's
$100.
thrift shop
Yes.
or whatever.
Tiny's, pawn shop. And they were only $100 is what the thing said.
So it's time for an adventure.
Yeah.
But what about the kids? Well, we can't take them with us. But the kids are like, we're going to tell our parents that you started a fire and you lied about Lola or whatever, even though Jenny didn't actually say that. So to allow them to cover for the lie, they'll say like, okay, let's go on adventure and babysitting into the city.
Into like the hood.
Babysitting city.
They somehow know where the pawn shop is.
Well, they have a navigation because they take the parents' big SUV.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, they take the car.
Have everybody in the vehicle.
Fit everybody in the vehicle. And they're obviously not supposed to take the expensive big car.
Yeah. And you can tell, as Jacob said, it's a bad neighborhood because there's a giant puddle sinkhole or something that they dodge as they're pulling up to Tiny's thrift shop. So they go inside the thrift store, and the joke is that Tiny is a big guy.
He's a big dude. Lucas, I don't think, liked the lighting of the pawn shop, but I did. It was just kind of lit by Christmas lights and stuff. Just
it's very
everywhere.
like cinematic lighting.
Yeah.
It's just like nobody would actually. Maybe it's because it was closed down for the day or whatever.
It was kind of cool, but so yeah, they go in there, they see Tiny, and they kind of talk. We're trying to buy this. We do hear them over the phone when they're walking in about selling something for $100,000. I don't remember exactly what he was trying to sell. It might be the ferret, which comes into play here shortly.
What it is they just say, hey, Tiny, there was a kid that came in here buying tickets. He's like, okay, well, you got to talk to the scalper over there.
And it's like some dude in the background swinging around a katana.
A skinny guy wearing a hood and swinging a katana.
Looking
so they
really
go and talk
sketchy.
to him.
Looks like William Dafoe.
He does kind of look like Willem Dafoe.
Didn't argue with that.
Did you know that Willem Dafoe, you want to know what his real name is?
Oh, no.
William Dafoe.
Oh.
So Willem is just a nickname for William.
Willem?
Yeah.
What the hell?
So as they're talking to the scalper, Bobby's messing around with some like chocolate and then a cage.
Yeah. And the younger girl is like trying on earrings or something that she finds in a cage or jewelry. Finds the cage and it's a rare sapphire ferret.
Well, as the movie characters tell us that, it looks like they just spray painted a ferret.
Yes, I mean that's exactly what it looks like.
And the scalper is like, oh, yeah, the kid, he said something about going to a pizza shop. And Emily's like, I stalked this kid. He loves Mario's Pizzeria. It's his favorite place.
So now the pawn shop people know where they're going to be going. That's it.
But the pawn shop people are okay with them at this point.
For
it's
now.
that then...
the ferret somehow gets out of the cage.
And I think maybe before that... So this whole throughout
they're
the whole
riding
movie,
that little scooter thing around, right? And it like bumps into something.
Well, the crucial thing is throughout this whole movie, Lola is taking a bunch of pictures.
This is when
she
the
has
photos
that
start.
assignment.
Yes.
And one of the pictures she takes here has the ferret in frame. And at some point also, yeah, the ferret gets out, causes chaos, and the kids run out of the store.
Tiny does catch the ferret, but he drops it for some reason.
I think maybe it's in that point where she takes the picture and Tiny's like turning
no
with
photos,
the ferret.
Because he has the illegal ferret in his possession. And then that's why they start to chase them, because they're trying to get the photo that she's taken, because having that photo would incriminate him to having the stolen rare ferret.
This movie largely moves, except for maybe this next sequence coming up. Because they leave the store, they find that their vehicle is being towed for, I guess, not paying a parking meter.
And she's like,
something.
if you give me, the parking lady's like, you give me $100, I'll drop your cars. And then she's like, oh, I left my wallet at home. Oh, no.
So she only has $10.
Yeah.
And she's like, I'm evil towing lady.
She
I'm
takes
large
off,
Marge.
And she directly takes their vehicle and runs it through the big puddle. It's completely
does not seem
dirty.
to get her own tow truck dirty.
No,
only the Escalade or
it's
whatever. It's
really messy. I mean, like the puddle's like deep.
And it was one important little thing about it, like, and the car's messy, because that'll come into play at the end of the movie.
Yes.
Like, shit, we gotta...
How do we get there?
We need to get money somehow, or we need to find Trey. And as they're leaving, the thrift store guys come out, and they chase them, and then they run away. And we hear the thrift store guys say to each other, Tiny and Scalper, you're like, well, we gotta get them, because they got a picture of us with that ferret. And it's illegal, or whatever. We got kind of the main conflict of the movie set up, where they're going to be constantly pursued by these two guys for longer than I really expected.
Yeah, they hung in there.
I thought it was going to be, it is kind of a sequence of multiple mini episodes in the city, but I thought like this was just going to be one, and then they moved on.
Yes. The bus?
Yeah, the bus, they take a bus. I don't know. They fight. The bus driver's got an eye patch for some reason.
They complain, and he lets them all sit down for $10. Yeah, he's an eye patch because they're in a sketchy part of town. Yeah,
it doesn't really
very minor. They get to the pizzeria.
Yes. And they find Trey with his friends, and one of his friends is like, fucking Jenny.
She's fucking hot. She wants you, dude.
Jenny.
Yeah.
I think she likes you, Trey.
Yeah, well, they're like, you have a babysitter? And then the kid's like, yeah, I wish I had a babysitter. She's hot.
I'd let that babysitter sit on my baby face.
Ooh, lupus.
That's what the character in the movie
Yes. She's probably
also
18.
Jacob.
She's probably 18.
I think we did the math.
Yeah.
Lola hopefully is 18 within the context of this movie.
Yeah.
As we'll get to at the end of this movie. So Trey's like, well, shit, I wanted to go to this concert, but you'll get me in trouble with my parents, so okay, I won't go. Well, we still need to get $100 to get our vehicle. Well, we can scout.
That's what the tickets were selling for. Yes.
Then I think Jenny goes to the bathroom where she overhears some girls talking about Zach.
Yeah.
Because Zach is kind of a thing in this movie, but mostly not. And she's like,
very minor.
You talking about Zach and who he's taking to the concert?
She's like, why are you
here? And like two girls come out of a single stall together.
Yes.
Because they're doing like lines of Coke or something.
That's what girls do.
This pizzeria is filled with only children.
That is what it kind of seemed like. And then, of course, like they think babysitting is lame or for the poors. So then the youngest daughter comes out of a stall like, I need help getting my dress on or whatever. And she's like, oh, little girl, I will help you, says Jenny.
And then we talk about Trey thinking Jenny's kind of hot because his friend said so. And then Emily, who likes Trey, gets jealous and probably goes and gets a henna tattoo.
Yeah.
Seem cool. And then Jenny is like, oh.
You got a tattoo? You better not be permanent.
And it's not. It's just
henna. Which probably last for a few weeks. I don't know.
But then I think the thrift store people arrive.
Yeah, they show up because, they do know they're going to the pizza place. So then they have to run out of the pizza place.
And then chase them. They go into an industrial laundromat where there's a lengthy sequence of them hiding from them. They ride around in like uniforms to escape. And
that's kind of fun. They go down some weird pulley system.
Yeah, they're riding some chains. They get the guys in like a big laundry bag and throw them the giant washing machine.
And they get all sudsy.
Yeah, it was a bit long.
Yeah,
Jacob thought he was like, oh, thank you, next.
It's like a 5-10 minute scene that could have been like 2 minutes.
Where I'm just like, I don't need to take notes on any of it.
No, I mean it was okay. It was an adventure they went on.
Speaking of an adventure in babysitting, they then reach the concert venue where there seems to be like a carnival outside for some reason.
And just pre-con concert.
I don't go to a lot of concerts, so
yeah.
Lola tries to scout the ticket, and she says, "Hey, $100."
$100. Yeah, she's like really whispering. She's like, $100. Oh, you already have your ticket? Oh, I mean, that would only make sense because you're going to hear her at the concert venue.
And then she gets arrested by a cop.
Because you're not supposed to be selling tickets at the venue.
Though, according to IMDb trivia, it's not a crime to do. So I don't know who to believe.
That did used to be illegal, like at like Twins games and stuff. You couldn't sell stuff. So what people would do is they would sell stuff like 2 or 3 blocks down. Like,
well, yeah,
not
I mean,
exactly
isn't
at
the whole
venue.
concept of like sites like StubHub, isn't that just like
basically, yeah. Yeah. I mean, it basically, but before StubHub, obviously, scalping was the bigger, like the really only kind of way to do it.
So that means everybody's got to go to the police station.
Yeah.
And the pizza guys, the thrift store guys think that she is getting picked up or talking to the cop to tell them about the ferret. So they know where they're going to.
Yes.
Then there's a lot happening in the police station. This is where I went to the bathroom.
This is, I think, where the one girl's hair is revealed to be green because she's been wearing a hat this whole time.
Yeah, we kind of get an update with like Trey's like, I'm mad I'm not going to the concert.
Yeah.
And Bobby's like, I'm not going to be able to win my cupcake contest now. I dyed my hair green because I hate my parents. And that's mostly for them. There's like a roller derby team that got arrested.
Yeah, so the younger girl who always has the helmet on and skates and stuff is a big fan of like this one girl that's a part of the roller derby. Her name is it sounds like Taylor Swift. I don't know, something Swift. And like she teaches her some like trick.
I love that Jacob is watching this. He's like, you're missing everything. And like, of course, roller derby girls always have to have like punny names. And Jacob just doesn't remember the pun. Be like, it was something with Taylor Swift. I don't know. What do you want from me? You want me to watch the movie? You want me to pay attention?
It's Jailer Swift.
Okay.
Jailer Swift.
Not that good.
I couldn't catch it because it sounded
She should have been arrested just for that name.
But yeah, so she teaches the youngest one the sweeping leg move or whatever it is.
Well, AJ, the skater girl, who's seemingly wearing skates this whole time.
Yes. Emily, the girl's hair who is green, steals somebody's phone that's like sleeping and calls her mom to leave the voicemail, which the parents end
saying
up
that they are in jail.
Yes. And then, yeah. So that's kind of a part of it.
And the parents eventually get the message, but they think she's maybe just doing a prank. But then they're at the same awards gala as the Andersons, and they will go out searching around the city for a while.
Yes. And then we get an update here of Lola, who's like in like the detaining room or whatever, and she's getting
kind of good copped mostly.
Good. Like, well, she's getting
these kids are looking up to you.
Bad cop, good cop. Well, first she had like the bad cop that like arrested her and brought her in, but then the officer
wasn't even that.
Well, then the officer James, who gives her the parking ticket in the very beginning,
the hot cop,
comes in and talks to her, and she's like, "Yeah, these kids really look up to you. Da 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 da. You know, get out of here."
But then he like takes her license or something.
Yeah, he doesn't return her license to her. That plays a role later on.
So they end up having to leave the police station because a fight breaks out between the roller derby girls, and a cop's like, "Get out of here! Man down! You're not gonna make it!"
It's pretty wild. Like people are getting thrown out of windows.
They're running out, and you hear gunshots behind them.
The gunshots do not happen.
So then the thrift shop guys arrive, and they Jenny and Lola are arguing, and they're fighting with each other so much that they do not notice that AJ is being like hauled off by the thrift store guys.
Yeah, and
until she's like,
she does the leg sweep thing that she learns from the Derby girls, and then like the younger boy is like, "Guys," and they're like, "What?" And then they see them and like they're chasing.
Yeah, so then AJ skates away, and the thrift store guys who pulled up in their branded tiny thrift store,
they drop their keys.
Oh, okay.
So then now they
steal
find the keys, and then they steal the car.
So then Tiny, the fat guy, is chasing them.
Yes.
The scalper katana guy to steal somebody's bike. And then is chasing after AJ. And Jacob seemed to like this car chase. I wasn't fully paying attention.
Yeah, I mean, it was. I like the car. I mean, it was a cool pimped out old car, but
not really.
So what I liked,
pimped out in the sense that it had the branding of the thrift shop's name on the
What I really liked is there were some really times where they used a different camera, like a better quality camera, to like record some of this kind of chase scene. Like, I really like some like the camera shots and angles. They kind of like, I don't know, it's like a camera like kind of zooming in and out of like somebody's like feet and like while they're like skating and the guy biking, and there's some just cool kind of just camera work here, I guess I like.
Cool. And then what happens? They catch up to her. They shake off the...
Well, they go down like an alley and there's like an open door that they see where people are like carrying in speakers.
Well, yeah. So AJ like makes them crash into like people eating food or whatever. And then they pull up in the car and then just like get out of the car. Oh, I think they drop like a flyer for the award show in the car. And then maybe...
Is this where they leave the phone in the back seat, too?
Well, they don't leave the phone. We thought they were going to leave the phone. But they drop the phone, which then leads to them accidentally calling the mom as she's receiving the award.
Yeah.
But that doesn't really matter. She doesn't really suspect anything.
It's just kind of, it interrupts her during her speech, basically, is what that is.
But then the thrift shop guys catch up to them, so then they run down the alley into an open side door, but it closes behind them, and so then they can't get in.
And but then the one katana guy's like, I know a guy. We'll go to the front door.
And then
they're in a nightclub.
Yeah. This is the best scene in the movie.
It's not bad.
So they somehow wind up on stage and trip over, kind of like I did in my panel, they trip over some cord that cuts all of the power to the sound
all the music's
system.
off. And like rather than being like thrown off the stage, the main DJ guy's like, you ruined our music, you better, create some for us.
Who up to this point was not rapping. He was just spinning records, DJing, and it was like a dance club. But now he's like, you have to rap for us.
Yeah, so
Jenny
starts off just kind of just rapping, and then like the crowd starts to get into. I don't remember any of the lyrics or fun things they kind of said.
It's more like a slam poetry recap of the plot so far.
Because the kids do kind of chime in a little bit, like, I'm scared.
We're gonna die.
Yeah.
She's the babysitter.
And then they rap, and then she starts dissing Lola.
Yeah, Lola's...
So she has to chime in.
She's ruining my life.
Yeah.
And then Emily is kind of annoyed with her for some reason. And then Lola comes out and does a little bit better job rapping, and they kind of like rap battle. But then it kind of wraps back around where they're like, "We're the babysitters."
It was fun. I was down for it. Maybe Lucas will throw the audio clip in at the end.
No,
it was fun.
Disney would be after me.
It was fun, and then they
it wasn't as good as Let It Shine's rap battle, even though that was just that one guy being like, "You're poor."
But so we do see the two pawn store guys come in now, and they make pawn shop.
Yep, Big Hoss,
Big Hoss, and
Phil,
Grandpa.
Phil Hartman. I can't remember his name.
Phil.
Phil Hartman.
They work
Rick
up on
Harrison.
Yes, Rick Harrison. I'm Rick Harrison. This is my.
We'll get Rick
shop.
Harrison on cameo for this episode.
So they go up on the stage, and like the same thing happens. They're like, "Yo, why'd you enter?" And I was hoping, and maybe Lucas too, that we would get like the two pawn shop guys would have to rap back and forth to get off the stage. We don't.
Presumably
see that.
they did. We just didn't get to see.
Yeah, it happened.
Unfortunately.
So they're out. They've escaped the rap club or whatever, hip hop club.
So I think it's around this time where we've been seeing some cutaways to Mr. and Mrs. Cooper.
Yeah, we see their parents quite a bit.
The planetarium, searching for their kids. They go to like the jail, and the cops are like, "We don't care about anything you're telling us."
We have a fight with roller derby girls. So while they're on their journey to the way back, there's, I believe, 2 times where they see their kids or the other family's kids, and they're like, why is somebody skating out, this time of late, this late at night? That's dangerous. Then they see the back of their daughter's head, and like, who would let their kid dye their hair green? She does look familiar, though.
Where are her parents?
Exactly.
Yeah, they leave, and this is where they're still like, okay, we still don't have money because we weren't able to scout the ticket.
But
the princess girl remembers,
Mommy has a little purse in her pocket that she keeps $100.
So that means they need to go to the planetarium where the awards event is being held and sneak in there to get to the coat to take the money. And
luckily, there's a good guy, Eugene, working the front doors.
He's like, "What are you doing here?" "Oh,
Jupiter is lined up perfectly right now with the moon and Saturn." And he's like, "You're right, kid."
Damn straight. Which...
Yeah,
there's still an event going on.
Yeah,
it's
my
like,
mom's a scientist.
Stuff happens at like the Metropolitan Museum of Art in like New York all the time. Like the Met Gala. If I just went up during the Met Gala and be like, "Hey, I want to check out like the tapestries. I've heard they're really cool." He's like, "Yeah, they are cool. Come on in." I don't think he should have let them in. Obviously,
we do eventually later see the two pawn store guys, whatever, come in too, and they just kind of like, "We're their uncles," and he's like, "I don't think so. I'm gonna," and then they just kind of like run past him.
He doesn't
he's
let
looking
them
at a
in,
list,
but they just walk by him anyway.
Yeah, he's looking at a list, and they run by, and he's like, "I'm gonna need backup."
So they're coming for Mrs. Cooper's coat.
The
Mrs.
money
Cooper
in the coat, yes,
has been out in the city this whole time. Not with her coat on.
Yeah, why?
But she comes back
to get the coat.
To coat check to get her coat to go sit back down at her table to eat dessert.
Because
So it's not really clear what...
So they do that because they're like, oh, Jenny's in charge and she's a very responsible girl. Nothing could possibly be going wrong. Everything's okay, I'm sure.
Well, that's why they come back.
Yeah.
But I'm just like... It
Why'd
seems
they
like
leave without the
when they
coat?
wrote it, it's like, oh shit, she has her coat. How can they get the money? Oh, actually, she doesn't have her coat. But then she comes and gets her coat so that they have to do a funny situation to get the money.
Yes.
There's a side
another
thing
adventure
where annoying Bobby goes into the kitchen and pretends to be a chef, and
then the chef and everybody in there is listening to him. They're obeying his every command.
Yeah,
we need
he ends
seaweed. What is this? He's like, no, I don't like that. He ends up making, what is it? You said a mousse with seaweed.
Chocolate mousse with seaweed, and they're all
Seaweed or
like, "Oh,
something.
it's genius."
He's a genius.
Fucking
He's a
hate
prodigy. We love him.
So that ties him up.
Yes.
Meanwhile,
Lola
Lola,
having to get
Jenny,
dressed up.
and Princess Girl give Lola, because they're in the coat check, but then the mom pulls her coat out before they can get to it.
They steal the one girl that's working the coat check's shoes because she takes them off. So they steal her shoes.
High heels.
They take one of the coats. It's like a white mink coat. I don't know, just white fur coat. And then the little girl gives her tiara. So she's got a tiara, a nice coat. She's got heels, but she's never walked in heels before. How do I walk in heels?
Yes, Sophia Carson, I think she is pretty funny in this sequence because she goes and sits down
has an accent
by Mrs. Cooper, and she is just doing British or
British.
rich person voice, being like, "Oh, what a lovely mousse! Oh, the seaweed is divine." And
Yes.
it's just like, "Oh, this is a nice coat."
Is this?
cashmere?"
And she's like, "Is this a fur?" She's like, "No, it's just cashmere." And she's like, "Let me look at. Oh, I just dropped your coat on the ground. I'm gonna check this pocket. Oh, $20. I'm gonna pocket that. Let's check the other pocket. Oh, I found your little purse. $100. Let me pocket that. Here's your coat again."
I mean, it is stealing, but it's for a good cause.
Yeah, it's for her own kids, for the woman's kids.
She just doesn't know.
Exactly, and that never comes back into play. Where's my $120 that was stolen from me? That's never mentioned again.
True, it's not. And the thrift store guys, as we talked about, they break in, and
I don't really remember them there.
Had the ferret with them the whole time, so the ferret jumps out of the scalper's pocket, I think. Causes chaos, very much like the end of Dunstan Checks In, when Dunstan is upsetting the gala at the hotel, and Faye Dunaway falls into a massive cake. And then they get caught by security and end up getting arrested, and the cops are like, "I do believe you that there's a fat guy and a skinny guy with a hood, and they have a blue ferret."
Sapphire ferret, yes. So they're out of the picture now for good, right?
Unfortunately.
The bad guys and the ferret's caught, so that story is ended. But now they have to get home.
Yeah, and everybody's happy, but Lola, I can't remember exactly how, she reveals that oh yeah, that boy Zach, I totally blew him off and told him that you didn't care about him asking you out. And she's like, "Oh my god, you ruined my life. We've got 20 minutes left in this movie, but we have to fight again." And I'm just like, oh my god, come on. So
they have to go see the psychic rockets or whatever it is.
Yeah, Lola is like, "Okay, you know what? We got to hook you up with the hot boy. We got to make this night right." And all the kids are like, "Yeah, hot boy, hot boy."
So Zach does go to the concert with another girl. We do know that. That's a fact.
Yeah, that's all we know.
Yeah.
We see her, she doesn't get a name or anything really. And then spoiler alert, he must blow her off this concert or whatever.
What they do say is that she has a boyfriend.
Oh.
So that
they say that, but I'm saying we don't see her again, do we?
No, because she went home with her boyfriend who was there.
So they go to the concert venue again. Thankfully, once they take the bus, everywhere seems to be within walking distance.
Yes.
Where they need to be. And they go up and the security guard's like, "You got tickets?" And she's like, "No, I don't." Lola doing this because she thinks she can schmooze him or whatever. She's like, "What can we do to get everybody in?" And he's like, "Give me your camera." Well, he says, "You can't take pictures, by the way, so give me your camera." Which, I took to mean, oh, he just will give it back to her later.
That's what
they treat it as,
this is collab. Yeah, this is trading.
You love photography, but she does, because it's about helping out Jenny. So
but she does take the memory card.
Yeah, that's the most important thing.
Yeah. And
babysitting, that's the most important.
To be honest, this was at the very end of the concert. We literally, they make it inside. They go inside, and the people are leaving.
Which is why I think
there
the
wouldn't
security
be
guard let them go in really anyways, because otherwise he'd be very bad at his job.
There probably wouldn't even be any security guards checking tickets or at the gate anyways at this point. TBH.
I don't know. I mean, we had to freaking make sure we weren't bringing like bags or like metal to go see Weird Al Yankovic at our local venue. You know, security, I guess it was 2016, maybe. There wasn't as many shootings regularly back then.
So yeah, so they make it inside, and then
they go to the bathroom so that Jenny can get a makeover from Lola and the princess girl.
They make her messy hair. They give her lipstick.
I think she looks much worse.
She takes off her whatever she's wearing, and she has just a completely other outfit underneath, which is kind of weird.
Kind of
like a flannel shirt.
Well, yeah, she has kind of the fancy like overcoat and then a sweater, and they take off the sweater and she has like a flannel underneath it.
Yeah, and then she runs into the venue, which is the concert's over. I feel like there should have been a song or two left.
Well, this isn't really one of those movies.
No. She makes her way...
Even though Sabrina Carpenter is a musician, so she hops up on stage because everybody seems cool with people just getting up on stages in these.
She's on the stage and she's yelling, Zach, Zach.
And I thought maybe she would somehow do a song in this circumstance. But that just allows her to be like, "Oh, hey Zach." Zach comes up.
He's filing out, and he's like, "Jenny, what are you doing? Why are you here?" She's like, "Oh, I just came to see you."
And he's like, "I thought you hated me."
Where's that girl you were with? Oh, she went home with her boyfriend.
We've had some adventures in Babysitting. It's complicated, but I do like you.
Yeah.
Also, can we use your vehicle?
Yeah.
Because they get a message from the parents. The parents basically know, hey, like the alarm has gone off at our house. We called the home phone. Nobody answered. We forgot to mention. The dog
covered in pizza sauce or whatever.
Knocked over a bunch of stuff and like the washing machine's overflowing or whatever.
Yes.
They need to get home quick because the parents are on their way home. So they get Zach to give them a ride to the towing lot where they run into Trixie as she's about to close down and they like beat her up.
Yeah, they like bully her. They just like steal her lanyard key and like just take her car, I guess.
And they were like, here's your fucking money. We're the babysitters, bitch. And then they rush.
I was kind of wondering too. Did they even? I don't remember them even paying her.
I think.
Yeah, I mean, it would have only made sense.
And then Lola drives home so that she speeds.
She gets pulled over by Officer James.
Well, not here. That's after the movie.
Yes.
That happened in real life. That was after we watched the movie, and then we saw it outside of our window.
Oh my god.
Because when they were going into the city, because she didn't want to get pulled over, Jenny drove very slow. But I think Lola drives home, so they get home quick.
Yes.
They get into the house. Well, first they give Trey, like, Trey, you got to clean up the car. All right, they go in. Oh my God, everything's a mess. But it's montage time.
5-minute cleanup.
The dog gets a bath. It gets blown dry.
One girl gets the green out of her hair and the tattoo probably off.
Everything's perfect.
Yeah.
All of the cupcakes.
Oh, wait. The dog bed that was on fire, it's still burnt. Flip it over. Jump into the chair. Oh, the parents walk in.
And it's one of those things where it's like, how can we do this? But the kids are all like, hey, we all did a bunch of bad shit tonight too, like committed crimes probably.
Yeah.
So we don't want our parents to know about this.
I dyed my hair. I wore lipstick and I stole my mommy's expensive earrings. I bought a ticket and ran away, and all the kids.
They all are like, let's do it together. Kind of reminded me. I feel like there might have been something like this in like Den Brother, but that's the Girl Scout one.
Yes. Yep.
But Jacob said, like, this is exactly like the end of Smart House. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about?
A cleanup montage.
I gotta clean up my house. I'm like, well, yeah, but there wasn't a rogue AI trying to kill them. There was only Zach.
Only Zeke.
Then the parents show up and it's all good. Driving home, Lola gets pulled over by, he's not hot anymore. He's just creepy. He's like, oh, driving without your license. And she's like, do you ever have a night off? And he's like, well, that sounds like a good idea. You want to go on a date? And this is where we're like, well, I assume she's 18.
Abuse of power. This is just wrong.
No, Jacob was looking at his phone, so I thought he was pulling up like an IMDb.
She was 18.
IMDb trivia. Cops doing this would be an abuse of power and not okay. I said that was helpful. Thank you. And then Zach, he kind of steals the girl's headphones.
She was born in 1999, so she would have only been 17.
But that doesn't matter. It's just what the movie says she is. I mean, it does matter.
You bet it does.
But I'm saying within the context of the movie. I mean, that cop was probably
she was born in 93, so she would have been...
Fair game,
Yeah.
Go fucking wild, Jacob.
23, huh?
She was held back some years in school.
April 10th, 1993.
Cool. She just
month before us.
Yeah. I'll see you next episode. Zach asks out Jenny. Like, two girls are calling from like the window being like, kiss him or whatever. Who cares? Fast forward to Monday at the art internship place again. Jenny lets Lola know that she withdrew from the art internship because school and stuff isn't the most important thing. She was just doing it to pad out her resume anyways. And she's like, I'm going to just like fucking party and go wild this summer, make out with boys, you know, you can do the art stuff. And Lola's like, can you help me get into college? So now they're the best of friends.
Lola's got the internship. She's got the Officer James. They're dating. They're a thing. They're a flicking.
And then Lola, since she retained her memory card, says she'll send the pictures
all the photos
out
to everybody.
And somewhere in the night, Jenny had taken a selfie with her and Lola, and she like gives it to her in like a cop folder and be like, evidence.
End.
Giant selfie picture.
The end.
And then she closes the folder, and it does say the end on the folder.
We see all the kids looking at their photos. It's fun. So each of the kids got one. The dog got a photo too, but that was accidentally sent to the mother Helen. Oopsies.
My mother Helen.
The mother Helen.
Mrs. Anderson.
Yes.
Mrs. Anderson. Welcome back.
Oh my.
That's a kind of a Matrix reference. Whatever. That was
the rear end.
Adventures in Babysitting 2016. Do you think that's like a really funny bit or something?
What's that?
The rear end?
I don't know. I just say it.
I know. Like every time.
Well, I guess it's a bit if you say it so.
Well, I'm just asking if you think, you know, if you return to it so often, you must think it's
I say it without even thinking about it. It just happens.
So yes, Adventures in Babysitting 2016. I thought this was a pretty good movie.
Yeah, I enjoyed it too.
We'll check into our top 10s in a little bit, but I don't think this is gonna crack into my top 10. I don't need to make a last second edit, but
maybe
I think it's a pretty good movie.
Top 40, top 30.
As I said, I don't know if they really took a ton of plot stuff from the
it would be
movie.
Interesting to see, what if anything is familiar or the same.
But it still was, you know, a basic concept they were able to build off of. That was good. So I think that was to this movie's benefit. Yeah, some of the kids were a little annoying, but I think Lola and Jenny, both of the actresses, were pretty good. The dynamic between them were fun, and as many Letterboxd reviewers wanted them, you know, there was maybe a little like sexual tension between them.
Love
maybe
the lesbian lovers
at the end.
We were kind of. I was kind of curious. And she comes. I was kind of curious. Where this was filmed, because like we see a lot of like water, we see the big city, and it was filmed.
Just tell us
in Vancouver, British Columbia.
Literally where I said, like it's probably filmed somewhere in Canada.
Everything's filmed in Canada or what? Arizona.
Utah.
All
right. Anything else? You clearly got the stuff in front of you.
Well, no, I mentioned that.
How many viewers did it have?
I mentioned the 40th anniversary of Disney Channel, which I thought was kind of fun that we, you know, kind of lined up along that. But no, that's really about it, I think.
All right. Moving on. Never remember. Could the babysitters with the kids? Could one of the babysitter? All the babysitter? The Tiny and the Scalper?
Well, they have enough bodies to do it, but could they've had the power and the strength? I don't think so.
No, there's not like a ton of like ingenuity to a lot of what they do. It's more just like
maybe
flying by the seat of their pants.
The kid and, like, could have maybe distracted somebody, you know, with some good food, you know, like, oh, maybe there's more to live for in life, you know, we like food. Moose.
Great bit. Speaking of it being a great bit, we originally started this post Tiger Cruise, of course, I believe. Because that was the 9/11 movie. And Tiger Cruise, I believe, was around episode 51 or so.
Yeah.
Which means we have 50 DCOMs we haven't weighed in on.
No.
So now we are going to do a lightning round of Never Remember. We don't need to go in super in depth for most of the movies, but now to settle, because I know everybody probably loves the bit. So we need to get, you know, canonical. Could all of the main characters have stopped 9/11 or not?
Oh, Jesus.
All right, so under wraps, I'm going to say no. The kids could not have stopped 9/11.
No.
Even with the mummy.
Could he use the mummy, though, to wrap them all up? I don't know.
Well,
they could have unwrapped the mummy guy and wrapped them all up.
You Lucky Dog, hell no.
No.
Brink, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Halloween Town, we probably weighed in on some of them.
Probably, yes.
In this one, we'll say specifically that Sophie. She could have stopped 9/11.
Yes.
Xenon Girl of the 21st Century, of course. She basically stops a kind of 9/11 in that first movie.
And Xenon.
Can of Worms. I think Mike Pillsbury would have like intercepted some communique
with the aliens. So the aliens would have helped out, I think.
For sure. 13th Year. Cody caused 9/11.
I agree with that.
Smart House. No, that kid's kind of a dumbass.
Yeah, the house couldn't fit on the damn plane.
Johnny Tsunami. No.
No.
Well, specifically Johnny Tsunami, the grandfather. Yes. Johnny Capahala, though, no. Genius, Chaz Anthony,
Yeah.
You know it.
Yeah.
You know it.
Easy peasy.
Don't look under the bed.
The monsters could have maybe prevented them even getting on the plane.
The not boogeyman.
The boogeyman, yeah.
Horse sense.
No.
Maybe
Sinbad.
jumping ship. That's not, you don't even know which one horse sense is. That's the Lawrence Brothers.
That's the Lawrence Brothers one.
Up and away. I mean, they're superheroes.
Yep.
So.
They would have landed it safely.
The color of friendship. The power of the message of anti-racism that made them turn the planes around and
one
land
another.
safely. Alley Cats Strike. They were actually on the plane and they were like, hey, that's like
those 2 pins.
That's a 7-10 split right there. Let's go take them down.
Oh no.
Rip Girls. That one person was just watching from afar with the binoculars the whole time. Just watching it happen. Miracle in Lane 2, more like Death in Tower 2.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Stepsister from Planet Weird.
Cosmicola, he could have,
Cosmicola is kind of like he's like a benevolent or kind of just like...
They're alien people. They maybe could have stopped it.
Tom Bombadil. Like, he doesn't want to get involved with human affairs.
So no, that's a no.
Ready to Run, that's the girl who
That's
talks
the
to
Sinbad
horses.
one.
Hell no.
Definitely not.
Quince... I don't even trust the main character of that. We don't know if anything she said was true. So she might have done 9/11. The Other Me, at least two
planes saved.
2 Lawrence brothers to either save or crash them. I don't know. Mom's Got a Date with the Vampire. Of course not. Those are some of the worst kids.
Awful kids.
In a DCOM.
Terrible kids.
Phantom of the Megaplex, specifically.
Movie Mason, taking them all down.
What's Mickey
Rooney.
Yeah, Mickey Rooney. He would have done it.
Yeah.
The Ultimate Christmas Present. Again, maybe Santa's a bit of a Tom Bombadil.
Ooh.
Doesn't want to get involved with human affairs.
Oh.
Xenon the Sequel.
Yeah.
This one will say Protozoa. No, he could not have stopped that.
Ouch. It's a different actor, isn't it, now at this point?
No, this would have still been the same.
Same guy.
I think. It's the third one he gets recast.
Okay.
Motocrossed. I don't know.
No.
They would maybe make the pilots feel a little like sexually like, uncomfortable or weird. Or
I mean, that's how you felt. I remember that.
Well, that's the movie's intention. The Luck of the Irish. Maybe the grandfather.
Grandpa's kind of cool. Maybe they pay him off in gold. They pay him off in gold, and they,
Hounded. If that dog was on a plane, everybody going down.
They're dead.
Jet Jackson the movie.
Probably. He was kind of like a James Bond type, right?
But he was an actor.
That's true.
But in this one...
But the real one.
Yeah, the one who gets transferred into the real world.
Yeah, the multiverse one.
I mean, this movie came out June 8th, 2001. If they stuck him around in the real world a little bit longer...
Could have stopped it.
Jenny Project? No.
Today.
Jumping Ship? Yes. This time the Lawrence brothers could have stopped 9/11.
They had enough manpower.
Poof Point? I don't even want to think about it.
Yikes.
Halloween Town 2, Calabar's Revenge. For this one, I will say no because everybody sucks and this movie's boring.
Ouch. Hurtful.
'Twas the Night. This time Santa will... I don't even know if Santa's an actual character in this one.
Bryan Cranston?
Yeah,
No.
it is, because they like freeze time. I think there's magic. I remember liking it. Double teamed. They double teamed those fucking terrorists.
Ooh.
Power
Wish
play.
they double teamed me.
No, thank you. Cadet Kelly. No. True Confessions.
Well, you got to remember Christy Carlson Romano was in that one too, though.
I mean, I didn't need to remember. I did.
She's
I remember.
A beast.
Yeah, they'll do their weird
dance.
Yeah,
their slapstick stuff.
True Confessions. I believe Trudy would have been too committed to wanting to like film it.
Yeah,
she was a documentarian. She didn't want to like intervene.
No, sorry, Even Stevens.
Get a Clue.
Sorry, Shia LaBeouf.
The original version of Get a Clue with the original ending that made sense. That would have been able to
Lindsay
stop
Lohan?
9/11. But the aired version, they got too mixed up. They don't know what's going
confused.
on. Gotta Kick It Up. I don't know.
No, sorry.
A Ring of Endless Light. Probably
Dolphins.
not.
Probably not. No, that's a no. They're in the water.
Scream Team.
They
Sure.
could have scared them. Yeah, scared them silly.
There's some magic in there.
Yeah.
You Wish. I mean, I guess you could.
That's
just
the wish.
For it.
That's the wish.
Right on Track. Nah.
No.
The Even Stevens movie. That was my 9/11.
Oh no.
Eddie's $1 Million Cook-Off.
Good food, good curry. I don't know. What are they?
I mean, I love it, but yeah, I don't know.
Sorry.
Cheetah Girls. Only if the dog was stuck on the plane.
That's enough motivation for anyone.
Full Court Miracle.
Judah McAfee, absolutely.
I mean,
he's dunking on them.
The Jews, I mean, Al-Qaeda does hate the Jews. So
Oh, no.
there's definitely something to work off of there. Pixel Perfect. Maybe the cyber girl could have gone into like the autopilot system or something.
Okay, I like that.
Going to the mat, I mean, the dude's blind.
Wrestling. He's fucked.
I don't know about that one.
Sorry, Lawrence.
Xenon's E3. They're like flying ships or whatever, that one. That one kind of sucks. Stuck in the Suburbs.
Superpower? No. They didn't want his autograph? They weren't coaxed into an autograph from the star?
Yeah, I don't really remember. And that brings us to Tiger Cruise.
Wow.
So we now have, which then I believe Halloween Town High was our first one where we were like, well, is she magic? She could have stopped 9/11.
True.
And that's the story.
Wow, love that.
Now you
wrap
know.
up. If you don't know, now you know.
So if you want to write in to let us know at all about our very offensive multiple talk about 9/11 time,
Yes.
the email is ahwholenewpod@gmail.com.
Thank
But we're
you.
not done yet.
Uh-oh.
We still got at least like 2 more segments because
Lordy.
it's been a while. But now, like Jesus, I mean, that's literally what
Jesus.
Lent is about, is Jesus spending 40 days and 40 nights in the wilderness and then coming out to drink soda pop immediately.
We're ready.
So
I'm not
we're out of Lent now. I am free to drink pop. So now it is time again for a whole new pop.
I'm kind of scared, to be honest.
I think I had already said this before. We have 2023 limited edition Peeps flavored Pepsi. Artificial marshmallow flavored Pepsi.
It's in a yellow bottle. It's got a peep on it.
I think Dustin had referred to this as Peepsy.
Oh, I like that name. That's okay.
No, I like that less.
Peepsy, Pepsi. Is it stinky?
I think it's just going to taste like cream Pepsi. Or vanilla Pepsi or something.
Oh, boy.
I didn't give Jacob a ton.
Just in case it's extra pooey.
Well, if that's the case, you get the rest of the bottle.
I don't really like the smell. I mean,
I'll be frank. I don't like Pepsi that much.
No, I'm not really a big Pepsi. Hey, maybe it does smell like marshmallows.
It's artificial marshmallows, please. Not real marshmallows.
Are you ready?
Sure, fuck it.
I don't know. It's not like horrible.
Bit of a vanilla Pepsi vibe.
Yeah.
But then it's got like some weird aftertaste, which I assume is them trying to approximate something with Peeps with like the granulated sugar on it or whatever it is on Peeps. I assume since it's
not horrible.
Peeps flavored, this doesn't have apparently the potentially carcinogenic elements of Peeps that they were talking
heard about
recently.
that recently. I don't even know what Peeps taste like. I don't remember, I haven't had a Peep in a long time.
Yeah, I'm not planning to drink the rest of that.
I'll take it home.
Well, this episode, we're not going to do any of what have you learned, all that bullshit, because guess what? I already said we might have had audio issues this episode, so we haven't learned fucking jack shit. But we've talked about, I think, on air before, that our plan is once we catch up with all of the DCOMs, which I think we still have 15 to 20 to get through, we plan to do some form, if we can figure it out, of a live stream. Me and Jacob's faces are out on the internet. We can maybe consider it like a face reveal. Or we'll then tier rank all of the Disney Channel original movies.
Yeah, well, that'll be a little tougher for us.
But for now, we're just gonna, like in the bonus episode after 50, we're gonna check in to see where what are our current top 10 favorites, as well as our bottom 5.
And a lot of these movies, at least for me, I guess I kind of talked about in the first 50. I would recommend kind of listening to that one, because we do go a little bit more into each movie. I don't think we're going to do that this time.
Yeah, we can maybe go a little bit. I mean, depending on what yours are. Maybe I don't want you to go into too much.
A couple might trigger you. So do we want to do our bottom 5 first?
It's up to you.
Yeah, we'll do that. So my number 96 ranked movie.
So yeah, for these ones, we're starting with the best of the worst going down. Right? So you're going to, 96,
correct, 96
down to...
And these are all, I guess, interchangeable. They're not, set in stone, whatever. But so, my number 96
I feel these are pretty strong, The competition for the bottom is maybe stronger or more set in stone for me than the competition for the top.
My 96 is Buffalo Dreams.
You know, I understand that. Buffalo Dreams was a movie I almost didn't remember anything about.
And that's exactly kind of why it's on the list. I gave Lucas kind of a list of other movies that kind of, in my opinion, kind of fit the kind of same mold. Right on Track, Going to the Mat, Go Figure.
I think Go Figure, you just don't remember. Go Figure is a lot better than
Rip
any of
Girls, forgettable movie to me. I wouldn't rewatch it again ever.
I think Dreams. Go Figure is maybe in like my top 20.
And Buffalo Dreams, like, I don't know, they deface some rocks and stuff, spray paint rocks.
It's not particularly exciting.
No.
My top of the bottom 5 is Twitches 2. Twitches, I think, is probably a little bit higher, but Twitches 2, not bueno, not good.
My 97th is Twitches 2 also.
It's a bad movie.
Yeah, like it's one of those movies that we as males, the male audience, maybe it wasn't, like, I just remember a lot of the...
Again, this is one where Jacob was talking about, like, girls like different movies than boys. It's like, well, I don't think anybody's, like, only liking Twitches because it's got...
No, but I mean, people are
I don't
very...
even remember their fucking names.
A lot with TNT Maori. People are a lot more nostalgic to them because they might have watched Sister Sister. I wasn't a big Sister
Sister.
Movie
came out so long after Sister Sister.
Yeah, but people, I mean, still probably got hyped for the Twitches movies. It's just, it's not the first one. I don't think I disliked as much.
Only if you're a Patrick Fabian fan should you be getting psyched for the Twitches. All right, that's enough about Twitches. My second best of the worst is Life is Rough, starring Kyle Massey. It's just, I think it was just a combination of a lot of my least favorite stuff.
That was our cameo. We did have the cameo.
Yeah, I mean,
before we found out.
Most expensive episode.
Before we found out that he was like doing naughty things to kids.
You'll see with a lot of my other bottom 5 is I don't like a lot of the animal movies, and this was kind of just dumb animal stuff with like bad skateboarding too.
And my 98th, Sharpay's Fabulous Adventure.
Yeah.
Another newer one that kind of snuck its way onto the bottom there. I just remember kind of just being annoyed by that movie. Didn't really like the character. Should have just kept Ashley Tisdale on the Sweet Life of Zack and Cody stuff or in High School Musical. And maybe just another movie just not really intended for us.
That one looks like maybe they're around like 88 or 89 out of my 100. So pretty bad for me too.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan.
Sticking with the dislike of animals, I have You Lucky Dog as third from the bottom. That is the second movie we ever watched, and still, I'd say it sticks in my mind as being pretty bad.
And this is where my last two here are ones that I had on my original bottom 5. Number 99 is You Lucky Dog. It was another one that was lower on my list.
It's early on in the DCOM days, whereas it's like this does not feel like a lot of the other DCOMs.
The main actor,
Kirk Cameron.
Yeah, the main actor was an adult, which is we don't really have many other movies like that. Bad Hair Day a little bit, I guess, right, or whatever. But
yeah, we have some.
Yeah, it's just meh.
Though You Lucky Dog, I rated a 1 star.
Okay.
So the last two I have, I rated half
stars.
The lowest you can basically go on Letterboxd. So my second to worst is Ready to Run.
And my 100th is Ready to Run. Another one on the bottom 5 of the first 50 that we did.
I didn't think it could ever be supplanted, but my least favorite movie is the Sweet Life movie.
Number 100.
It is horrible. I mean, I don't know if you remember it, but like you didn't enjoy watching it.
I know. I didn't. I don't.
It
love
was
that
like
movie.
only 80 minutes, but it was actively painful to watch.
Yeah, it just seemed like a mess. It wasn't.
It felt like an episode of the sitcom without a laugh track.
I like the show itself. The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, like when they're in the hotel. I like that show.
Is the Sweet Life on Deck.
On Deck, yeah. I never really watched Sweet Life on Deck. That was a little bit. Wasn't really watching DCOMs, but. As 100, it's I mean, you really hate it, I suppose. I'm surprised it surpassed You Lucky Dog and Ready to Run though.
Yeah, I mean, even if without an animal,
it's that bad. It's that bad.
All right, so moving into the positive area, quick like honorable mention of movies that were outside of my top 10, including at least one that Jacob put in his bottom, or not adjacent to a movie in his bottom 5. So I have 'Twas the Night, Go Figure, Motocrossed, Minutemen, and Phantom of the Megaplex were all within my top 15, but not my top 10.
Okay.
So what is your number 10 movie, Jake?
My number 10 movie, it was on my original list back in the day, Can of Worms. It could maybe be interchanged with a couple of these other ones, but it was just a fun, goofy, silly movie.
It probably helps that I hype it up a lot.
Yeah, you do hype it up, but I mean, I definitely enjoyed the Mike Pillsbury and the weird, icky, gross monsters and stuff. It was just
what about the sexy monster?
Oh.
Well,
I
you don't remember her, but at the time you were
kind of, sort of, yeah.
You're pretty into that
kind of,
alien.
sort of, yeah.
All right, my number 10 is Camp Rock 2, The Final Jam.
Okay.
Just fun, dumb movie, good music, and kind of just what I want out of a lot of these Disney Channel original musical movies.
Yes. Another one on my original top 10, Phantom of the Megaplex coming in at 9. We talked a little bit earlier, movie Mason, Mickey Rooney.
Magic
we
stuff.
love the films, we love the cinema. It's got the Halloween kind of spooky vibe, Phantom of the Opera stuff to it. Yeah. Love Phantom of the Megaplex.
Number 9, probably controversial for most Disney Channel fans, but Hatching Pete. It's a weird ass fucking movie, and it's a bad episode for us because that's the one we lost the power during, but I really like that movie a lot.
Love Jason Dolly.
Cletus, played by
Mitchell Musso.
Yeah, I could see myself rewatching.
That's maybe a top 15 of mine. I would say that's a top 15. Coming in at number 8, one of the original staples of Disney Channel, the Disney Channel original movies, Xenon Girl of the 21st Century. Love me some Xenon Call, some Protozoa, baby. Zoom, zoom, zoom.
Yeah. I can give Xenon some respect as far as, obviously an institution. But for me, nostalgia or respect of tradition or whatever only gets a 25.
That's what a lot of mine to come are. They're all nostalgic factors, ones that I really grew up on, and I probably watched a lot of these ones to come probably 10 times. So you'll be annoyed.
I don't let myself get hung.
You don't have the nostalgic factor from these movies.
Well, a couple of these I do remember. At least seeing commercials for them.
Fair.
My number 8 though, I have a nostalgia maybe for the era it's very much representing, which is Brink. With an exclamation point.
And we even
very radical, tubular, great 90s movie.
We talked about that one kind of earlier, and I don't know why.
I think it was the third movie.
Yeah. I don't know why I don't have as much nostalgic for that one, but I think it is like it's one that, a lot of people would rank inside their top 10 also. Just kind of one of those original DCOMs. It might be my top 20 or so, but not on my top 10. Coming in at number 7, one that you also brought up, Camp Rock 2. Love the Jonas Brothers. One was more just kind of campy stuff at the camp.
It's way better.
I like the battle, the contest they kind of have to do at the end there. I said the Jonas Brothers were a big grab for, I don't know, it was just,
I came across
just
on
cool
Twitter,
to have them.
Her weird friend, the techno girl, that never shows up in anything else. She wrote a weird rap song where she says camp cock and stuff. It's not good. It's not good.
Gotta find that. But
Demi Lovato does say in the movie, she's really good. My number 7, and before Jacob says all lives matter, it is The Color of Friendship.
I did not include that in my bottom 5. That might not even be in my bottom 10 anymore.
Character growth.
Yeah, it's one that I definitely... I had a lot of trouble doing my bottom 5, 10, obviously, back in the day. But no, it's not a bad movie. I never said it was a bad movie.
I can understand Jacob's hang-up. He wants to come to these movies to have a good
magic.
Time. Some magic. Maybe to say some kind of inappropriate things about girls who are under 18. But I think, it's a more serious one like True Confessions. But I think it mostly tackles its subject matter pretty well as has a little goofiness, because Jacob maybe doesn't remember. They got a wardrobe montage, a hat trying on montage in there. So it's still a kid's movie.
It's perfectly fine. Number 6, Lucas will not like this one, I'm sure. And this may be one of the, maybe a couple others. But Halloween Town, for me, Halloween Town.
Boring.
Halloween Town was just one, it was maybe where I got my love of Halloween movies, to be honest. I don't know. I just, looking at it now, it's these effects and stuff aren't cool, fun, but I like, the collecting the ghost sweat. Benny the skeleton for me was really fun when I was, 5. It's just a fun Halloween movie, just kind of a staple Halloween film, I think.
Number 6, more recent for us, as well as just, it's over 10 years old at this point, is Geek Charming with Sarah Hyland.
Wow.
She's super charming. I like that movie a lot.
Number 5 for me, or Jason Dolly film makes the top 10, Minute Men.
That was in my honorable mentions. Definitely, I feel like an underrated or underviewed DCOM.
Love kind of the time travel stuff kind of going on in there, and It's just a fun movie. I wanted to throw a couple newer films at least onto my top 10. And
you love Cousin Greg.
Yeah, I thought that was just a fun film.
So my top 5, I feel, are all pretty heavy hitters. 5 for me is Smart House. Kind of goes without saying, I feel.
My 4th is Smart House. Yeah. Top 10
4
originally.
For me, then, is Eddie's $1 Million Cook-Off. I think it's just probably the most well-executed, or one of the more well-executed sports DCOMs. But it's also one where sports is in the main focus. It's got, some good, gender roles, commentary. Yeah. That dog gets very messy. It's a fun movie.
My number 3 is Luck of the Irish. Another one I had really high that dropped down a spot or two from my original top 10. But I don't know. It has the sports. I love the basketball scenes. Lucas didn't like the Lake Erie stuff. Go out and
I didn't like
do the other sports stuff. I don't know, just all the sports. I didn't
like the weird America patriotism angle that showed up.
This land is your land from California. Just another one of those early top, the first 10 DCOMs that was made that I just probably really saw a lot. Really kind of grew on me.
I like within the first 10.
Luck of the Irish.
I think came out in 2001. That
definitely was it not a top 10 one?
No, that's a 34 for me. Can of Worms, my number 3. I love the genre movies, which we don't really get too much more of with DCOMs. Jacob already talked about the goofy, gross effects. This is one where I maybe didn't necessarily have nostalgia so much as a weird memory.
I never saw this one at all.
Seared to my mind about I think it was the lawyer. No, not the lawyer, like the agent alien.
Yeah, really
the corn and
sloppy.
popped it out. And fun movie. That is one I've rewatched, and I do think it holds up.
I might have to rewatch. Yeah, it is just a fun, kind of gross, just fun movie. Number 2 for me, High School Musical.
We were lining up for the top 2 then. High School Musical is my number 2.
Number 1, of course, Don't Look Under the Bed.
Which, it's the only one I've rated 3.5 stars on Letterboxd into real movie category.
It's got great costumes and great makeup. The sets are really, really cool.
It's got Boogie Goo or whatever.
Boogie Goo, Boogie Piss, and
that's just one I should rewatch.
It's actually I'm not terrified, but it's like an actual definitely the scariest DCOM by far. It's just a really good movie.
I mean, have you seen Johnny Capahala back on board? or have you listened to our Johnny Capahala back on board episode? That's the scariest DCOM.
Shots fired.
But I don't want to. Kind of speaks for itself. But I don't want to go past High School Musical too quick because obviously. Hugely influential movie.
It changed Disney Channel. It changed Disney.
It changed me.
Wow.
I got my head in the game. I went back to school.
Did you see that when it first came out, you think, in 06?
I saw some of it. I think probably in choir class in 2007 or 2008.
I think I had found, or I remember seeing kids, or maybe I even had the pencils, the Troy Bolton pencils. And
you and these fucking High School Musical pencils.
The pencils, man.
Kids were crazy about this movie. There was pencils.
There were pencils and the folders and stuff. I just it was such a big deal. And of course it paved the way for the brand. There's 2 other movies that came out. One a theatrical release we didn't get to talk about on this podcast.
Sharpay's Big Adventure.
Yeah, Sharpay's, unfortunately.
Big Adventure.
But then all the other musicals that came after this were because of this movie. I mean, I think it was the first
and it's
musical.
One where oftentimes I feel myself falling victim to ones I know were really big. Camp Rock 1, Descendants 1, Lemonade Mouth. Knowing that they're musical ones, I like musical stuff. I get hyped for them, and then I'm disappointed. Where High School Musical, I don't know what I really thought going in, but it met my expectations. Landmark movie. High School Musical 2, though, that was my disappointment.
The second High School Musical had by far, I mean, it's not even crazy the numbers. It's 17.2 million viewers.
We've talked about this.
There aren't many more movies that even.
I don't base what movies I like based off of fucking Nielsen.
I'm just kind of just saying how big of a deal it was. I mean, just massive. It was just huge.
That was bigger.
It was huge.
Than the MASH finale.
Wow,
it's not.
That's not true. No, Hawkeye
is bigger than the inauguration.
Oh my God,
Hawkeye. Oh yeah, that's a MASH character.
Yes,
I believe. I don't know. I've never seen it.
Correct.
Something else I've never seen. The final movies we'll have in the stretch of Disney Channel original movies.
No, we're familiar with some of them, but we sure have not seen them.
And this is where I'll wrap up. We already plugged the email address, awholenewpod@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter, AWNpod. Dustin runs that. Thank you very much, Dustin. YouTube.com/ahwholenewpod. Like, comment, and subscribe on there, as well as Apple Podcasts, Google, Stitcher, Spotify. Follow, subscribe where you can, rate and review us, spread the word to your friends and family. And yeah, signing off. Here's to the first 100 episodes.
And here's to 100 more?
Oh God, I fucking hope not.
It was me, Barry. I made them draw Lola Bunny with fewer sexual features so that you wouldn't be horny, and reduce your blood flow to make you a millisecond slower. Slow enough for me to kill Iris.